Thanks, everybody. Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Ricky Camilleri. In 2008, the world fell in love with a book told from the point of view of a dog that believed in reincarnation, The Art of Racing in the Rain. Now that beloved book has been turned into what is sure to become a beloved movie, starring our next guest, Milo Ventimiglia, and Amanda Seyfried, and directed by Simon Curtis. Let's take a look.
No race was ever won in the first corner, but many have been lost there. I should know. I was born to be a race car driver, but there's only one problem. That's not me. That's me. He picked me out of a pile of pups, a tangled mass of paws and tails.
This one. Definitely this one.
The pick of the litter.
She always said that.
Well, just a minute now. We were thinking of keeping them.
He always said that, too.
Hey.
Call it fate, call it luck. All I knew was I was meant to be his dog.
Do you like that, huh?
Like it. I loved it. The sound, the smells. I felt like I truly belonged. In racing, your car goes where your eyes go.
Not really much of a dog person.
He's more person than dog.
Denny was clearly taken with her grooming. She probably bathed every day for all I knew.
Does he always stare at people like this?
If he likes them.
The best drivers don't dwell on the future or the past. The best drivers focus only on the present.
Enzo!
No one knows what curves life will throw at you. But if a driver has the courage to create his own conditions, then the rain is simply rain. But for now, all I want is one more lap. Faster, Denny. Faster.
Oh, sweet boy, come here.
It must be amazing to have a body that can carry an entire creature inside. I just hoped it would look like me.
Everybody, please put your hands together for Milo Ventimiglia, Amanda Seyfried, and director Simon Curtis. Hi.
Thank you.
You just said, I think it's hard not to cry during that trailer.
I mean, I'm sitting there watching, you know, this lovely Amanda's. She's looking up so the tears don't fall.
Yeah, can I tell you, I'm a cynical person, and I cried my eyes out during this movie.
Good.
You tore my heart out.
We made
Completely
you
lacked that.
feel
Yes.
as we all should feel
Well,
in a movie like this.
There was one point in the movie where I was like, how bad can this poor guy's life get? Oh, my God.
I know, but here's the incredible thing, which we all should take note from, is that Denny, Milo and Denny, they're very similar in a lot of ways. In this way in particular, he doesn't ask why. Why am I struggling? He doesn't, you know, fall down and break apart and say, why me? Or blame anybody. He's like, all right, okay, I this sucks, but like, I gotta keep going. And I thrive.
And let's not forget the surprising, uplifting ending as well.
Of course.
Because there's a reveal at the end that leaves everyone feeling optimistic and positive at the end.
Yeah, we need that. That's essential.
Laughter in there in the middle of it, all of it, yeah.
No, I would never say that it's in any way a downer of a movie. It's actually a quite uplifting, life-affirming film. There was just a section of it where I was like, oh my God, I hope these things don't happen to me at a certain point.
But if anything, then you know you can get through them.
True. I will always look back to The Art of Racing in the Rain when
You're like, I can get through things.
If Denny did it, I can do it too. Milo, what attracted you to this project and playing Denny?
Actually, you know what? I got to be honest. First and foremost, Simon Curtis, the man two doors to my right. Simon and I had an amazing meeting on another film here in New York
Not far
City.
from here, yeah.
And it was, you know, meant to be just, I'm sure, a quick cup of tea or coffee or something just to talk about this movie. We spent 2.5, almost 3 hours, and about 5 scones later, just talking. And I remember after that meeting, I said to my reps, I said, whatever happens with that film, please make sure we keep an eye on what Simon is doing. And so then when this script came around, I saw Simon's name. I'm like, Simon, yes. And I read the script, fell in love with the script, and it was, and then it all came together. But I loved the journey of Denny. I love the lessons that Enzo is teaching him. I love the lessons that Denny is teaching Enzo, that this family that is going through so much in the course of this film is imprinting on this wonderful dog when he finally becomes a person in his next life.
So much of the film is through, or the entirety of the film is through the perspective of the dog, which I think requires you as actors to inject so much about your characters into sort of odd single moments. You know, you don't really get long-winded scenes or sort of human scenes to really discuss who your characters are.
I don't know about you guys, but I talk to myself a lot. I do. I talk to myself quite a few times throughout the day. So those moments that maybe would feel could feel odd placed, where you're giving information, it's like it never felt expositional. It always, to me, felt like just a real moment. We're just trying to let these characters live.
Yeah, I would agree with that. In no way did I mean to imply that it was expositional in any way, but I meant, I think of your character, Amanda, and the way that you show up and how we're seeing you through Enzo's eyes, and there's so much that you have to convey that you're not conveying in words or on a first date that you would normally get to in a movie
this
like
film
this.
is full of scenes you've seen in a million movies, births, marriages, and deaths, but you've never seen them from a dog's point of view before. And we every time we did a scene, we thought, well, what would Enzo see of this scene? And so that was a fun and original way to tackle
I mean, we have a whole character who was second on the call sheet, by the way, above my name.
The Enzo character was number 2 on the call sheet.
But it's like a whole,
right?
it's a whole character who doesn't speak. He's an animal, and he's the main, the central character of this movie. So we have to try to imagine what they're seeing, and it was amazing. And I think it opened us up to the world of a dog more than we would have thought. I mean, because we have to make it believable.
Yeah, and Amanda is a brilliant actress, but she is a real animal lover in real life and had to play someone who wasn't that keen on dogs. So that was a big acting challenge.
First, yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
Was that the big challenge of this part?
Yeah, that was literally the only challenge of this part. It was.
Well, you actually do a lot of work in this character.
No,
There's a
but
lot that you have to do.
This is the first job I took after I decided that I wasn't doing movies just because anymore. Like I was going to do the type of movies that I really wanted to spend time doing.
Like First Reformed?
Well,
something along those lines?
Yeah, I mean that was just. That was before I had my kid.
Oh, excuse me.
But yes, movies like that for sure are worth it, you know. And this was, and I was like, I need to play this beautiful woman, this independent woman who becomes a lover and a mother, a wife. Like and it was easy to just. The writing was great. Simon was there. I was playing opposite Milo, who was so present and supportive and a wonderful actor. It was so easy. So really, I'm telling you, it was.
The whole thing was really magical.
It was pretty easy for all of us.
I mean, literally, like from moment one, rehearsals, everything that we were doing, it just felt like we all knew what we were doing individually, but collectively, everything was just woven perfectly from one moment to the next.
And we were all scared doing a film in which a dog is in every scene because it's a voyage into the unknown. But we got really lucky with our dogs. They were brilliantly prepared, brilliantly trained.
Isn't that one of the sort of rules of making movies usually is never work with animals or boats or on those?
It's animals and kids.
I only work with animals and children now because
and you're gonna add boats. You're gonna add boats.
That's right.
Also, we need more movies with dogs.
Yeah. But these dogs were such a beautiful presence on set. And time and time again, we would think, my goodness, how are we going to do this scene? And then Parker would deliver in one take, you know, and it was that happened day after day. And we were very blessed by the soul of this beautiful animal. And I think, you know, this film lands at a time where there's a lot of CGI computer animals out there in movies. And there's something to be said for this real animal with real eyes and a real soul, you know. And you combine the beautiful dog on set with the voice of Kevin Costner, who narrates the film. And, you know, it's beyond my wildest dreams, actually.
And that German Shepherd smile. I mean, no dog smiles
Golden
like
Retriever.
a German
Golden
Shepherd.
Retriever.
Oh, Golden Retriever, excuse
yeah.
me. Yeah, that's right, Golden Retriever. Yeah. Sorry. They have great smiles anyway. Simon, I'm curious, when you get the script and you realize you're going to be making a movie from the perspective of a dog, does that immediately strike you as a challenge or something that sounds like fun as a director? You're going to have to think about where you're putting the camera, how you're using it in a different way?
Well, I was very nervous of doing a film in which, by definition, a dog was in every scene. But actually, it helped where you place the camera because you'd think, well, where's Enzo? And so let's start by shooting from Enzo's point of view. So, and as I say, it added an original twist to scenes like a wedding that you've seen so many times in movies. But we've played that scene from the dog's point of view.
Yeah,
So.
Pete, our camera operator, and Ross Emmerich, our DP. I mean, yeah, I got pretty intimate with those guys.
Yeah, we said we'd go into Enzo cam, as we called it. So yeah.
Oh, right, because there's this sort of shaky POV handheld cam
Like
that you're doing
a dog's point of view.
Right.
So I mean, I'm playing tug of war with Pete, operating the camera, which is
And
fun.
the other challenge was that, in the film, obviously Milo's character has the prime relationship with the dog. But on set, there's also the relationship of the dog and the trainer. So we had to sort of navigate through that as well. Because, but Milo was so patient and loving to the dog that ceased to become an issue. But at the start, it was something we had to navigate through.
But by the way, like this whole movie, I was watching it the other day in the screening, and it just dawned on me that like with a wide shot of you walking him in the track from up above, I'm like, I don't see Teresa, I don't see April. We had all these trainers, wonderful trainers that were always there with a stick and
clicking
chicken
and
on the
waving.
end of it. Like a fork, a
Chicken,
waving
steak,
fork. It was just like that was
goody.
our lives, and every day, and you don't see even a glimpse
No.
of an idea of them, and they're like the unsung heroes.
They
of
were
this movie.
they were incredibly invisible in the process of it, and even to the point where, sometimes actors, we get rattled, we get shaken, someone's standing in our eye line or anything like that, and we all just kind of fell into place to where it
Yeah, but I was
worked.
lucky with the two of you because there were times in very intimate scenes where someone was waving and clicking and feeding chicken nuggets, and
Like sometimes they like land on us,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're like, oh, no, this isn't my chicken. Is this
Yeah.
your chicken? No, this is his chicken.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil anything. It's in the book, so I don't think it is. But in the middle of the movie, there's some heartbreaking scenes between the two of you. What was it like shooting those scenes? They're really, really emotional.
I think we both have really great imaginations, and I think we both really, really, truly care about each other and the journey that we were on and the story we were telling. That I gotta say, like it was hard in that you don't want to ever picture that what we're doing in these scenes and what it means, but it feels so safe because also, by the way, we can walk away saying this isn't happening to us. We are so lucky. So there's a level of compassion that we have, and also just it feels safe because it's you, and we know that we're going to be 100% present in those moments. It's real to us then.
Yeah.
And so it's walking away and like, no, we're good,
Yeah.
we're good, and we can celebrate that we're good.
And it is. It's one of those strange existences as an actor when you are playing some heavy notes of life, I'll call them, or some joyous things of life. But when you're playing something that's very real and very impactful and changes lives, when you just kind of nail it, and you walk away from the scene, you're like, oh, well, that was great. That was amazing. That was so much fun. Really, you're like wiping the tears away, but it's such a satisfying feeling.
Oh, very. I mean, one of my favorite scenes is when Zoe, our daughter, is sleeping between us, and we're laying in bed closer to one of my last scenes, and it was just so. It was just there. That was.
she was actually asleep.
beautiful.
And she was asleep.
She was really
Ryan
asleep,
Kiera
too.
Armstrong, our
She fell
co-star, was
asleep.
asleep. And
But I think one of the reasons the book has been so successful, and it sold like 6 million copies in the US alone, is that as well as the sort of philosophical and the emotional things that you're discussing, there's tremendous wit in it because the dog sometimes is very accurate about what he's saying, but sometimes he gets things horribly and comically wrong. And when we had our premiere last week, I was overjoyed to hear these sort of waves of laughter. Actually, it was a wonderful thing.
It was
to-
surprisingly
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
I need every moment
Yeah.
that when you cut to Enzo and he said something so witty or so just
Yeah.
ridiculously hysterical.
Yeah.
I would be like, this is exactly why
Yeah.
this movie works for me.
How do you get those specific details from the dog? Like you have your narration, you're going to have a reaction shot from the dog, but you have a narration that's very specific, and the dog's face has to kind of mirror what that narration is saying. How do the trainers capture that, make that happen?
Well,
How, Simon?
Yes. Well, the dog has studied at acting school, so we benefited from that. No, basically,
Royal
Academy.
Basically,
Royal Academy of Dog
yeah,
Arts.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, but basically, the secret is I found to shoot the dog for as much as possible, but you never know which blink or a gulp would read as whatever. And you add that beautiful face to the voiceover that's sort of indicating what the dog is feeling, and somehow the alchemy works for you. But a lot of it is luck, I'll be honest.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, there's so much training that happens, and the moments where any of the trainers are getting the dog from point A to point B, but then Parker or Butler would just do something that was instinctual.
Yeah.
And it just happened, and we all, whatever it was,
Yeah.
hung out, but it would happen, and it was beautiful, and thank God Simon's philosophy, just whenever the dog's there, just roll on the dogs, because you never know.
Yeah.
So would that be like, you would just follow the dog around as well sometimes without the actors too, to just try to get more coverage?
Yeah, or just do an extra take and see if the dog does a special look this time or something like that,
And if the dog doesn't do the special look, just you're done.
Yeah. Yeah, but also we didn't know how much we'd be cutting to the dog, in the edit. And sometimes you wanted a bit more dog and sometimes a little less. It's like everything.
Milo, Amanda said that Denny was a lot like you. Do you feel like Denny as a character is a lot like you? Do you feel very close to the character?
Very much so. I think Denny might be the closest to me as a person that I've ever played, which sometimes can be a challenge because I always want to make sure that I'm playing the character. I'm not playing myself. But we had a lot of similarities. I think our drive and our determination and our choice of career. I think our love for our loved ones. And just general desire to be good.
And one of the final scenes of the film is a Formula One setting, and Milo looked exactly like the other guys. He fit right in with the professional drivers. It was a wonderful thing to see.
But our producer wouldn't let me on the track that day.
Really?
We do you know Don Lee wouldn't?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we had Formula One car, Ferrari team, help me, get trained and everything. I was like, can I? No, you're not getting in the race car, man.
Did you get in any race cars at all?
I got in one race car with Patrick Dempsey,
Who was driving?
who was driving the
Milo
car about
was in the
180
passenger
miles an hour.
Why was Patrick Dempsey driving?
Well, he had been a race car driver.
He's our producer.
He's
right.
Sorry, yeah.
But I didn't realize that he was also a race car driver.
Oh,
For 10 years.
He's one of the
Really?
best in the world.
He raced for 10 years professionally when he was doing Grey's Anatomy. Yeah. And he's the principal of a team that won the 24 Hours of Le Mans last year. Yeah, no, he's a race car driver.
I'm laughing because there's some Patrick Dempsey fan out there who's going to hit me up on Twitter after this interview, and he's like, "You don't do your research. You don't know about Patrick Dempsey."
It's okay, man. No, but
He was a fantastic producer as well.
Yeah, he helped us access that world that he operates so well in. And also from the point of view of all of us, we all work in movie making and TV making and all of that, so we all spoke the same language. But that was the one race car that I really got in and went. And then, of course, the red Ferrari at the end.
What did it feel like to go 180 miles an hour with Patrick Dempsey?
There's a video of it.
Wouldn't we all like to know?
It was fun.
Well, I was in the car behind with my eyes closed.
Oh yeah, he was.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Simon. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was sitting in the back seat.
Amanda, did you get to go get in a race car?
No, I would never
Would you
do
have?
that.
You
Even
would
if
never do it?
Patrick were driving, I would never do that. Not into speed. Nope.
Did you feel close to your character as Milo felt to his?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I was dealing with different things. You
definitely.
were straddling two different worlds. I was just in this one world where I had a beautiful daughter, a beautiful dog, and a beautiful husband. So I'm like, I'm living that life. So it was pretty easy.
How did you had two separate dogs, Parker and Butler? Is that what you said?
Yeah, so we had this guy right here. This is Butler, who is our 9-year-old. And then we had a 2-year-old named Parker. Then we had 3 other auxiliary dogs. I'll call them Lunar.
That's so rude.
That's so rude.
Auxiliary dogs.
Solar was really good at barking.
Right.
Orbit was really good at running.
Auxiliary seems so.
And Lunar just kind of hung out because he'd never been on a set before.
They were our support system.
Okay, support
Pinch
dogs.
hitters?
Support
What?
dogs. But then we had bench warmers. Yeah, they never came out, from right field. But then we had a whole bunch of puppies, tons and tons and tons of puppies. Actually, when we started the film, I don't know if you remember Simon. Simon said, the puppies haven't even been born yet. On day 1 of filming, the puppies hadn't been born yet. And then I think the end of the first week or beginning of the second week, they were born. And then several weeks we got to filming with them, and they were now 8 weeks old.
But to be fair, what Milo says is true. But Parker was in 80% of the movie. Yeah. He was really the emotional center of it all.
Yeah, such a special dog. Such a special soul.
I think we have time for a few questions from our audience. I think the first one is actually from Twitter, though. The question is, do you have a pet? And if so, what do you think their narration would sound like?
Amanda.
I
Amanda
discovered
Seyfried.
yesterday or 2 days ago that my dog, I haven't told him this yet, I think would sound like Seth Avett from the Avett Brothers. Nice,
As
nice
singing
southern draw.
Or just talking?
Talking, but I think
would-
Finn has a very nice singing voice as well, much like Seth. And I think that's what I discovered. He's like a nice North Carolina drawl, very kind, very patient. I mean, Finn is a patient young man.
Does your dog write songs as well, you think?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
Milo?
No pets. I got plants.
Do you think they have a narrator voice at all?
There's a lot. Yeah, maybe. I think one of them sounds like Brad Pitt. But it's like Brad Pitt, True Romance Brad Pitt. A few of those.
Stoned and listening to Soundgarden?
Yeah, totally. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, what do your plants listen to?
Anything from classical music to some metal and some punk rock
It's
and
incredible.
some like classic rock.
My wife has a Chihuahua, but I can't think whose voice it is.
The Taco Bell Chihuahua dog from the 90s, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
No.
That never worked
Offensive,
for me.
not too
It just, and yeah, and it just never worked for me, like personally.
Agree. A couple questions from the audience. Who has a question? Right here.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Victoria, and I kind of have a question for all of you guys. You said that having the dogs that play Enzo on set were a really great presence, but did you have a moment that was the most memorable with those dogs?
I feel like I had one with each of them, and the one that I had with with Butler was it was from this scene. It was one of the last days we were filming, and came at kind of like a really beautiful moment where I'm having a conversation with Enzo, and at one point Butler just I had my hand on the wheel, and then this hand was on the gear stick, and I think he just started to kind of like lean into me, and I just reached up and grabbed his head, and he just leaned into my shoulder. And with him, he was the most rambunctious, teenage-like 9-year-old dog you'd ever met in your life. So for him to have that moment where he just sunk into me was really memorable. You got one with Parker?
You really heavy?
Oh, when I picked him up?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, of course he's not heavy.
No, he definitely had some weight. But it's okay.
Golden Retrievers are big dogs.
Yeah.
Really. And they have a lot of energy for big dogs as well.
Yes.
Parker didn't.
Parker
just
was calm.
Really?
Yeah, he was
Really, really calm.
laser focus.
Yeah.
Next question. Oh, right here.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Bree. What is the one thing that you guys miss the most about being on set?
These two and just
Yeah.
everyone.
It was the best. I had never cried so much when I wrapped a movie. I really wanted it to be a TV show, and in fact, I was trying to think of ways to like talk Mandy more out of her role. I
Recasting
really
Rebecca.
wanted her to step down.
Yeah.
And give me a try.
Honestly, it was the people.
Yeah.
I mean, we had such a lovely crew of artists and misfits that were making this movie, and it didn't feel like we were making a movie, but it also felt like we were doing something important.
Well, it's a film about family, and it felt like we were a family.
Yeah.
So that's the way I would put it. And it was the shoot I've always dreamt of stumbling on, and I was very grateful for it.
Always dreamt of stumbling on in the sense that it usually doesn't feel that family.
But it's what you always
or that
hope for.
Supportive.
But it was it was a wonderful collective experience.
Yeah, this job is going to be the job that you compare other jobs to, because it was so great, because it was so wonderful, because the people were so lovely, and even the experience, it's on screen now. Yeah. Like when I watch it, I go, oh yeah, we loved making this movie, and I really believe that people are going to have such a well-rounded love for this film and walk out of it feeling hopeful and light and excited to get into their lives again and talk about it, because it really had that impact on me.
Oh God, yeah. Press tours are hard, by the way.
Sorry.
And no, they are. They can be very hard. But when you have a movie like this, I could talk about it forever. Like I didn't want the junket to end the other day because I was like, just ask me whatever. I could talk about it in a way it's just positive vibes with a Z. You know, it's seriously like the most positive movie set ever.
Yeah, really.
What a bummer that it's over.
Okay.
Next question.
There's a sequel.
Move on.
Who is the next
Hi,
question?
my name is Andrew. I'm a really big fan of all your work, and I was wondering, because you've played such a variety of roles throughout your careers, is it difficult to get a new script and a new character, and how do you get into the process of the role?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what kind of actor I am still.
The best.
Getting your head around like a new character and their circumstances can be really daunting, but I guess as soon as you throw away everything else that you've been doing.
Whatever your process is, just keep doing it,
Yeah.
please.
Okay. All right.
No, I swear to God, like
Just
this
like-
one, she.
I appreciate it though.
I have to work really hard. I truly do, like really, really, really have to work. And there's something about what she brings to a set, and it's always a truth, and a raw nerve, and a full heart, and everything just is. You get to. I got to experience life with her for 3.5 months, and it makes me crave more. But it was also just beautiful to watch. Like I was an audience in her performance, and I literally have talked about it around town. I was like, if they can all be like you, it'd be great.
That's so. It's you know what it is. It's like thank you. I don't know what you were experiencing, but I'm really glad it was a good one. It's just all about finding the truth in every moment. Just make it true to yourself in that moment, like as much as you can. Right?
That was the thing. You believed what you were going through, which made it
Right.
the most amazing performance
So it's like
ever. It's real.
It's less about preparation and more about like, well, no, there's a lot of preparation. People do different, amounts of preparation, but it's just when like figuring out, okay, what the big idea of this person and what they're going through, but also like when you get on set, that's when all the work happens anyway, because you've got all the elements coming together. So it's like you just have to be lucky to have this group to like fall
Sure.
into, I guess. I don't know. It's like it must be amazing playing a character for an extended period of time.
Oh, like on This Is Us?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
it must
fun.
be so nice to like know exactly who you are.
Well, at this point, like I know who Jack is. I'm like, I get Jack. Put the mustache on. I'm like, Dad Jack.
Right. It really helps.
Clean shaven. I'm like young, post-war Jack.
God, you must be really scatterbrained sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's like the beauty of that role.
That's the beauty of that role. It's like the beauty of this role is like we all came together, narrowed the focus,
Yeah.
Played this family, and you guys all get to enjoy it.
Right, it's extremely linear compared to something like This Is Us, which
Yeah, which is bouncing around.
One more question, I think, from the audience. Who has the microphone? Oh, right. No, you already went. You're
Andrew
done.
had it.
I think we're good. Guys, congrats on the movie. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks, Rick.
It's
Thanks.
beautiful, incredible work by the three of you and all the dogs as well, of course. It opens this Thursday. Everybody go see it and give them a huge round of applause for coming to Bill.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, Thursday night.
Thank you.